Thank you and welcome. We are your host today, Rahul Nawab. We are trying to bring to you different aspects of AI and data, from how data is organized, how AI is deployed, to where the industry is taking AI. Today we have a very distinguished guest with us, Professor Anand Kumar Jaiswal. He's a distinguished professor in marketing from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He has a lot of accomplishments based on his research. Done a lot of work in what we call bottom of the pyramid markets, and how to use personalization to drive bottom of the pyramid impact. We are extremely excited to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for spending your valuable Saturday with us. And thank you for being here.
Thanks for your kind word, and it's great to be part of this. Thanks for your kind word. And
so, who's behind the scenes? Why you are where you are, sir? And what led you to the career choices that you've made along the way? So, just tell us about your background and your journey to where we are today.
I can provide a very brief snapshot of my journey. It's not so interesting or exciting to know, but I joined IIM Ahmedabad as a faculty in 2005. So it's my 20th year. Before that, I did my PhD from XLRI, a full-time PhD that took about 4.5 years. And before that, I taught an engineering institution for some time. And then my first job was in industry, actually, incidentally, in a place very close to Ahmedabad. I started my career with Amul in their operation, in their production. But after working there for some time, I realized I have academic interests. You can say I will be a lot more comfortable in an academic environment, given my interest in teaching and research. So I was looking for opportunity to go for higher education, and then I ended up getting admission in a PhD program of XLRI. I did my PhD, and then I joined IIM Ahmedabad. IIM Ahmedabad, as you know, is a real good institution because of many reasons. But one, of course, from a working point of view, as a faculty, for example, it's an institution known for its culture. So probably you would have heard about Ravi J. Mathai, the first full-time director of IIM Ahmedabad. So IIM Ahmedabad is a very different institution. It has even now, though it's a government institution, public institution, but it has a flat structure. Flat structure means all the faculty members report only to director. There is no like HOD, or there is no in-between. And in our place, for example, it's also a unique and democratic institution. We don't have a separate housing for director. Director used to have a same office like any other faculty, no separate office initially, but that was creating problem for other faculty members. So they convinced Ravi Mathai to have a separate office. And then faculty members, for example, once they join, housing is given based on date of joining, not based on whether you're a professor or associate professor or assistant professor, based on date of joining matter. So it's very flat, democratic, autonomous, and it gives you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want. And that invariably helped the institution in growing. So I enjoy that culture. So you have like in IMA, probably in many other institutions, we have very high degree of flexibility. Like there's no fixed hour culture. You can, of course, we measure performance of faculty. So it doesn't matter what you do whole year, except your state committed teaching, but at the end of the duration, then you are evaluated based on your performance. It's a hard evaluation, tough evaluation. So so I love the culture IMA provides. That's about.
Reading about your journey, you went from service marketing and e-commerce to bottom of pyramid markets. How did that interest evolve?
So I did my PhD in e-commerce. Online shopping was the context. I initially did a lot of quantitative work, abstract quantitative research in regard to, for example, modeling consumer behavior in e-commerce site, how exactly you can retain them, how exactly you can make profitable consumer. I did that, but as I said, as a person you evolve, or you start finding other things interesting. So eventually I ended up doing research, or I kind of, to some extent, I diverted my research from abstract quantitative research to, more applied, more application, more, I would say, maybe without taking a moralist stand, but more meaningful research or impactful research. So I started exploring this area, bottom of the pyramid market. We would have heard about C.K. Prahalad. C.K. Prahalad was rated as #1 thinker at one point of time. So he gave this concept. So this concept says that how exactly private sector can be involved in social development, like market-based solution for dealing with the social problem. Because what we have seen, that government is extremely inefficient actor. NGOs, by definition, again, they are not always professionally driven, efficient in using resources. So increasingly, there is an alternate approach to deal with social problem, and that is involving private sector, market-based solution. That's the idea. So you have seen microfinance as an example, social entrepreneurs, for example. So create a business model, create a some kind of economic model. You have seen, for example, examples such as Sulabh. Isn't that government couldn't deal with the problem of sanitation in urban areas? All government intervention more or less failed. But when you have the social entrepreneur, Bindeshwari Dubey, for example, or Bindeshwari Pathak actually, he started this Sulabh movement. So you have an economic model, pay and use toilet. It's a social innovation. So it's bringing market, like bringing economic model, revenue model, and then through that solving urban sanitation problem. That's just one example. You would have heard about Narayana Hospital. You heard about Arvind Eye Care Hospital. You would have heard about Jaipur Foot. In fact, just last week I invited Jaipur Foot Foundation. So it's world's biggest facility for providing prosthetic limb, and they do this free of cost. Similarly, Arvind Eye Care, they provide free cataract almost to 2/3 of the patients coming there. A world-class facility. So these are all private sector, organization involved in dealing with social problem. So that's the bottom of the pyramid market. So I shifted to that, started doing research in that area also. Of late, I have developed interest in AI because AI was, of course, flavor of the month or flavor of the time. So I teach courses on marketing analytics. I have an executive education program for practitioners, managers. 1 week program on analytics. I teach in our analytics program. We have 1.5 year analytics program, diploma program. In our MBA, to our MBA second year student, I teach a course on marketing analytics. So marketing analytics was one of my interest areas. Then eventually, when I looked at AI is just a layer to analytics. Analytics is at the background. So then I started exploring this area. I'm more interested in applied side, not the tech, engineering, or the science side of AI, but the managerial application of AI. So I started exploring. So that's my interest in AI.
So that's fascinating. What I really loved about what you said on social, entrepreneurship and building these, how you describe bottom of pyramid, where you're taking a social problem, turning it into entrepreneurship and turning it into a market. Very, very different way of thinking about it. And then you also mentioned AI, which is a very, today and tomorrow's way of approaching the world.
I'm sure you would have heard about, the approaches to define AI or what is AI, but still let me make an attempt. So, if you split or decouple these words, artificial and intelligence. So when you're saying artificial, then seemingly there's a machine, there's a device, and intelligence is some task which requires intelligence, human intelligence, for example. So for example, in AI, there are probably 3 or 4 elements. First is you need large data, external data. So you need to have data, for example, and then you need to interpret that data. And then while interpreting or while making sense out of data, then you need to learn. It's not one-time interpretation. You need to learn. And through that learning, you're developing solution, and then these solutions may be for specific problems, we'll talk about. So through that learning, you're attempting to solve problems, or, you're achieving specific goals. And we call, when you're, developing solution, you have this flexible adaptation. It's not one time, you're continuously, this learning is a loop actually. So you're learning and then doing tasks, and then based on the outcome, again, you're learning. So this, flexible adaptation or continuous learning. Now, what of late we are seeing that AI is allowing us to develop and automate solutions which requires otherwise the human intelligence. So now I can tell GPT that please write a poem for my girlfriend I want, or for my mother, or for my country. And then I can specify that I need 1-page poem or 2-page poem or poem of this type, or everything. Isn't it poem in Hindi or English? I can do that. I can tell ChatGPT, please, for example, as I was saying that I hope this will happen, even the text to audio part, that not just write poem but make a song or sing, as in recite that. It can happen that with a good music or generate a music, isn't that? So this all problems now we are seeing solutions, and then these are, and all they are with flexible adaptation, means it's continuously improving. So the solution we have today, maybe you will have more robust model next week or next month or maybe few months, and you will have maybe 10 times better solutions. So it's continuously evolving. This is the idea that you have intelligence and the artificial part. And then now you're using data, and you're using self-learning algorithm, and you're developing automated solution. Means you're automizing or lot of things which otherwise you need to do manually or with a lot of human intervention.
So it's quite fascinating where we are. What I want to ask you next is, how are you applying it in the bottom of pyramid markets, and what is the maybe a couple of interesting examples?
As I said, I could talk about marketing application on healthcare applications. So I'm interested in healthcare. Of late, I'm looking at AI application in healthcare. So this is an interesting company. We interviewed this lady. She's ISC PhD. Her name is Dr. Shakuntala. And the company name is Nirmay. Just do Google, you'll find it. So we even invited her recently. So this company has developed, it's used AI for very interesting problems. So breast cancer is a real big problem. Very large number of times late detection and late treatment. Now, if you look at the traditional treatment of this problem is mammography. Now, mammography invariably, as you probably some of you may be knowing, it's costly. You need to pay 3,000, 4,000 rupees per test. And second is painful experience for the people. Now, how many people can spend 4,000 rupees? Isn't that many people earn 5,000 in 6 months, 6,000 rupees? Think about BPL population, roughly 1/3 of the Indian population earns 7,000-8,000 a month. So they can't just spend all their money in test, forget the treatment, isn't it? Just the test itself. So, and then of course this as I said, that it's painful experience, and sometimes you have false detection. So this company, this lady did, her team, so they developed a very interesting AI application. So this is based on simple medical intuition or insights that cancer cells, the tumor cells, they grow at a rapid pace, or they grow at a higher rate. When they grow at a higher rate, they consume a lot of glucose, sugar. So the temperature of tumor cell is 1.5 degrees higher than the non-tumor cells. That's the simple insight. Now what this company did, they developed thermal scanner. Thermal scanner, probably that during COVID time, remote detection of sensing of temperature. So they developed thermal scanners. And what they did, they looked at large number of cases of cancer and non-cancer cells actually. And then you have images, thermal scans. Thermal scans, human eyes can't interpret. Remember that we don't have ability to sometimes. But machines can do that. So they used large number of test cases to train models. And then with training, after large number of cases through training, then the AI-based system started discriminating between cancer cells and non-cancer cells based on thermal scan. So now they perfected it after like several thousand of cases. They used those cases to develop models. And then, as I said, then they started any new case they can detect it. And as I said, it's a self-learning. Self-learning means self-adaptation. So once you fail, then you continuously learn from failure and make algorithm model even more. So they developed this interesting model process, and the process is working so beautifully that now they have approval from FDA available in the US, and CMARC in the Europe. So they have approval, and this is like going to revolutionize the cancer detection. It's already there, technology is there. It's just that oncologists and doctors, they have their own inertia to adopt the technology. But it's a very interesting example. One more example of BOP. So we interacted with a company. It's known as Forus. It's a eye care manufacturing or eye care devices manufacturing company, Bangalore-based company. So we interviewed the founder and the tech heads. So they developed several other, but very interesting application they have now. So what they are looking at, that the retina imaging, when you have eye, when you look at advanced images. So there is Google has given them grant. So there's seemingly, there is this retina image of retina versus heart diseases. There's a connection.
Oh, wow.
So when your heart health start deteriorating, there is seemingly some changes in your eyes, and that can actually be used to have an early warning signal that you're prone to. So that's just, there are again building models right now. In US, they developed this technology, real new technology. So all of us are wearing glasses. So this is spectacles, so power glasses basically. So in US, it's a little more complex market. For example, if you end up dropping your glasses, and if your glasses are broken up, if you want new glasses, then you need to have a prescription which is not more than 6 months old. Isn't that? Because they have this regulation that nobody will give you new glasses if you say that I have a 1 year or 8 month old prescription. The optometrician will charge you. In India, we can even have 3-year-old. So invariably it's a big inefficiency in the system, and it's helping some people. So this company developed the liquid glasses. It's very revolutionary. They have revolutionized the entire eye testing mechanism using AI-based remote eye testing. So what they say that now you can have a device which is like you can even at home or at your centers, you can fit that or wear that device, and remotely through liquid lenses they can actually operate it using AI analytics. And then they can tell you that whether you have a same number, your number is changed. So eye testing, refraction can be tested remotely. Till now that was not possible. And they've launched this, and I'm quite bullish about this company because that's going to disrupt possibly the US market. This huge inefficiency, that's AI-enabled solutions.
As you think about this, I understand the application of AI in the build phase, right? In building these models, and these are very complex models, you need large amounts of data to build it. How do you take it from a marketing perspective in terms of personalizing or that personalization journey?
When we talk, maybe personalization is just one important application, but think about, maybe I can go a step back and think about like AI application marketing in general. So we use this 5C, STP and 4P framework. Like STP, segmentation, targeting and positioning, and then 4P, product decision, pricing decision, promotion decision, and place, which is sales and distribution related decision. So AI actually is helping you in taking almost all marketing decisions. Say for example, you can understand consumer behavior, like think about social listening. So now you have AI-based solution, like we call earlier we were like more primitive solutions were like text mining, but nowadays you have solutions, for example, they're AI-based programs which can tell you what exactly is being discussed about your brand, your company. Isn't that? And that's the unstructured data. What exactly people are talking about. We call social listening in Facebook or in YouTube or in Twitter or any other like review sites or bulletin boards. So it can continuously scan data and then tell you what is being discussed. Continuously changing. Every week you can see what is being discussed. Isn't that? You would have required billions of billions of rupees you need if you need to do through conventional mode of data collection. But here now you have automated solutions. There's bots or their algorithms or their tools which will harvest this data, continuously process data and give you actionable insight that maybe people are unhappy with you on this aspect, or this is the negative thing, this is the positive thing. So this is social listening we call. And then automated. As I said, once you develop a model or process, then continuously, it will every week, every month you have output. That's one example about hyper-personalization, which Mr. Rahul is talking about. So hyper-personalization is basically, so we were discussing segmentation. So usually we were doing segmentation in traditional world based on age, based on gender, based on your profession or occupation. So we were saying, for example, I have a product for rural India, I have a product for urban India, I have a product for rich consumer, I have a product for low income consumer, like bottom of the pyramid, or maybe I have a product for middle income consumer, product primarily for North Indians, or product primarily for South Indians.
By segment.
Segment. So we were segmenting at a real big level, at a big group. Isn't that urban and rural, that itself is a real big group? Or low income and high income, that's real big. Or male and female, that's a real big group. But now, and then people started talking about eventually from, regular big segmentation to niche small segments. But eventually segmentation can be taken to an individual level. And I can, that's probably nobody thought that this is possible or this will be made possible. Now AI is allowing you to do a segmentation at an individual level. Means there can be an offering, for example, designed specifically, say for Mr. Rahul, for me, or for any of you, based on so we have a data, like say for example, I can, there is a interesting video and I will share that, if you remember the Bollywood start talking about that. So data is being captured. So for example, when you, so look at the data availability. For example, if you're visiting a modern store, the moment you end up giving your mobile number or you use your membership card, your entire transaction is captured, is part of database. When you order anything through e-commerce site, Flipkart or Amazon, again, you need to not only give your address, not only you need to give your details, but you need to give your address, you need to invariably create login, and you need to maybe provide your credit card number, phone number, or every details. And you can't do shopping in incognito mode. In offline world, you can still do, but in online world, you need to invariably, without doing this, you can't do shopping. Third step is that when you're installing any app, this is real dangerous, isn't it? The moment you install, in fact, I avoid installing apps to the extent possible, because just the other day, I was transferring some money on Paytm while making a call. So the Paytm started giving warning that you're on call while making. So I realized that Paytm is tracking me that because I'm making transaction and while having a call. Means Paytm is tracking not only my behavior for the app, but it's tracking my behavior across app. Isn't that? So this is real, like app, the moment you install an app, then technically you end up giving all the access. I mean, entire, and we do everything now under, be it a payment or communication or banking, isn't that? So now app has complete access to my data and like millions of gigabytes of data every second. So the data availability has gone up, and that is fueling AI model. So now AI model, for example, that movie, that somebody suddenly can tell you that I know that you watched this movie 2 months ago in this particular theater, and this is the seat you are sitting. Isn't that? That's the data and they have about you. Isn't that? That's in fact, I was in Ahmedabad. That's just a very simple example. So Ahmedabad, the city, they have a smart vehicle or a smart city office. They use AI. They're trying to use for AI, for example, just image recognition. That if, for example, dustbin is filled up and you need to kind of empty it. Now, can I have AI system which can tell you that this dustbin is full of garbage, empty and full? You can try a train model, and you can have automated system or video, cameras alerting you that this dustbin is actually needs to be. It's not there first, or whether if it's there, it's empty or full. This is the idea. So they are doing this interesting application that, the traffic violation we have. That's an example of AI. You have trained models to tell you whether you have jumped the red light. In fact, they have real good data collection system, and you will be surprised. As you said that you can think about, based on your history, I can services I can develop, like I can have a more customized loan offer, customized credit card, customized debit card, customized services you can easily actually design. But even product, like B2B product, many other products, I can do a lot more customization based on your requirement and on a real-time basis. Like services, I can just based on your data passes customize offering. Think about pricing based on your history, for example. So you would have heard about that. Now Google. If you have Android phone versus Apple phone, Ola charges you differently. So, or then where exactly you book if you're, I'm assuming that that's what people have found, that if you book a cab near Palladium, if you book a cab in, say, Thaltej for same distance, probably you will be charged differently, isn't that? So that's the kind of personalization they have.
This generation is growing up on Instagram and TikTok, and just going through videos rather than talking to the friend who's sitting next to them, right? Constantly. So they're used to personalization to a degree that I think at least my generation was not even used to. I think you brought this up, so I want to push you on that. There is a negative side to this, where your mind is getting trained to think a certain way because of what you did in the past. So that has a very polarizing effect. How do you deal with that? What do you do about it?
So this is just one possibility, that now, you have seen voice cloning. That's going on. The technology is reasonably now mature. So, in fact, I have a video, but it's not downloaded. It's in YouTube version, so probably it will not work. So, this is a video where Sunil Bharti Mittal is sharing his, experience. So, he said that his finance head or his, Dubai unit head called him, and actually somebody. He was saying this experience that finance head out of the Middle East operation, he received call from Sunil Bharti Mittal and his boss, his CEO, and then he said that, can you please pass on or this transfer that $5 million to this particular account with quickly, I need it immediately. And it was Sunil Bharti Mittal. Now this guy, had a sense, so he thought of checking with him before doing that. He was about to do this, but he called back his number, and Sunil Bharti Mittal checked, did you tell me to transfer this money? And he said, no, I didn't. So this is this happened. And then think about people attempting to fool Sunil Bharti Mittal, forget you and me, because we all can still be fooled because we have no recourse to.
We're not going to transfer 5 million anyway, so that's a different question.
Yeah, so that's the idea. So this is. So right now it's voice cloning, but tomorrow somebody may call you on Zoom, fake video of your mother or your boss or and then you have a fake video conversation with somebody, and like you've seen that Obama ad. These ads are like almost natural, isn't? Nobody can detect whether it's a. Can you detect? At least I can't detect that it's a AI generated video. Now think about this risk. So there the positive and negative side. When Narendra Modi is making, is approaching you with a personalized video that please, that hey Rahul, can you vote me tomorrow? We have election tomorrow, and then I know that you live in this location and your father was teacher or your father was a businessman and all that. Isn't that a personalized message and appeal? But that's the positive side. Now think about the negative side of that. For example, if the same technology is used to target opponent, and then you receive another video about a political leader saying that some scandal, that maybe he has extramarital affair with his secretary or with his isn't that, or he exploited these many women, or he actually did this fraud just a day before, isn't that election? Now in that case it's just now like you can have
we don't know. Yeah.
Now it's just because you don't have time. It's just the next day election or anything which is because any wrong information also needs time to be corrected, isn't that? Now you have no time, and then you have created that impact. In fact, I have one of our PGPs he's teaching a course, and he's also part of the team for MDP we are going to launch. His name is Varun Sanku. He was with McKinsey and now he's an AI expert. So if you look at his phone actually is his camera, you will see he's always covered with a tape. So he teaches AI, but he actually uses a camera because of course there is no camera nowadays without, there is no phone without camera. So he actually covers it with a tape. And then only when it's absolutely required, he removes it manually. But otherwise all the time, and he challenges that you can't find my pictures anywhere. So he's so careful. And another guy, AI expert, told me that, can you tell me who all are in my family? that's the test. Any other than my information, but because I need to have my information, but can you figure out who else in my family, my wife's name, my children's name? He challenged that, and nobody could find any detail of his or her. You can understand the AI experts are so careful about posting their family's picture, their data, so that's going to be real danger, at least the way technology is evolving. And we don't have, as of now, safeguards because everything is so fluid, so dynamic.
As any evolution takes place, you have a good side and you have a dark side. And here the dark side is getting darker and the good side is getting even more interesting. I think as students, the question they would have is what skills they should be learning as they embark on this AI journey, and what is important to them. They're all first, second, third, fourth year students. I'm sure they are very curious about that.
Though I'm not expert in fintech or finance, but you've seen that Sunil Bharti Mittal example that probably is related to yours, the finance world. So, now banks, for example, are, because, this idea, that we say that this positive and negative or the good side or bad side of AI is like virus and antivirus, isn't that? Because as you have technology, deepfake is growing, then there is also demand for detecting whether it's a fake deepfake or it's a natural or a real video, isn't that? So both ways, like cat and mouse game. And then now finance world is real worried about, isn't that? You've seen that application that, for example, when you have, say for example, you're approaching bank, and then there real interesting fraud possibilities. So therefore, banks are actually telling people or investing money now to develop solutions to detect AI generated content, for example, or what is fake and what is genuine. So there is real big investment or interest from banking sector to safeguard the interest of people. So from that point of view, what we say AI literacy from a student's point of view, probably you all know the front end side means you're looking at all this as user. But as a student, my understanding is that that's not good enough, because maybe you're only looking at the application or the front end, but what is going on in the backdrop, the technology and the algorithms, or the analytics or models. So you need to have some comfort. Everybody from a student point of view, people are worried about jobs, they losing out jobs, and that is happening, more and more. So there's a real big concern about what type of jobs AI will take away. So look at mechanical tasks, thinking tasks, and feeling tasks. So mechanical tasks, we have already strong evidence that they're going to be taken away by the AI. Isn't that like coding, for example? So we teach a course on analytics. Now, till some time ago, there was a real big requirement for coders or analytics people. But nowadays, what happened that even generative with Gen AI coming in, that coding, which was thought to be real big skill, now that has become redundant, because I don't need coder. I can just tell ChatGPT or AI models that please write a code for me. 80% of my task is now, done by the algorithm, isn't that? So now you have that job. So the mechanical task, for example, many of these may be automated. Thinking tasks, as I said, second step. Now the possibility is that, of course, we can't replace human being, but eventually the idea is that the task where you need human intervention, feeling, like yours. For example, front desk, for example, where you deal with customers, or human touch, wherever feeling task is involved, probably AI is less likely to be, at least in the current scheme of things, probably that's less likely to be replaced by, those jobs are less likely to be replaced by AI. So the idea from a student's point of view, you need to, continuously, you need to be on toes. That's the idea. You need to update yourself. Because if AI is taking away jobs, it is also creating several new jobs. And as you have seen that AI has also democratized. You have seen that AI ad that rephrases companies purchase at a real big valuation. This Indian company which did it for the first time globally. They showed it to the world that this is possible. So AI opens up real big opportunity for you. Say for example, it's this, like whether, because you have now open source, many of them, so if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a tech entrepreneur, maybe somebody sitting in US and somebody sitting in India may have same opportunities. Isn't that? Maybe you have more opportunities because you can hire 10 others at a significantly lower cost than several others. So you have real big opportunities to grab and then to outsmart people. But you need to update your skills.
But you brought up a very interesting point. How do you rate feeling jobs and how do you get them, right? Where are those jobs? What should the students here really be thinking about as they are embarking on this whole fintech and AI journey? So are there specific areas that they should focus on to make sure that they are job ready? Or where do you think the market is heading in the next 5 years?
So people say that, let me give an analogy. So what AI can do and what AI will not do. So everybody talks about content writing, content marketing. Isn't that? Now, AI can possibly help you in content generation, content writing, for example, making video. So remember, the old conventional technology of making video and editing video is real time consuming. In fact, in IMA, many times I wanted 5 minutes video, and the audio visual or the communication team used to take 1 month for making 5-minute video because they need to go through that. Conventionally, it's very time consuming, cutting video, editing and all that. I think adding. So it used to take so inefficient process, time consuming. But now with technology, I can do this in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Isn't that the task which they were taking in 1 month? Now, of course, many of them will be replaced, of course, if they don't evolve with the technology. But at the same time, think about, I can, so there are tasks. Say, for example, I can think about news. I can take, for example, I can build an algorithm or a model to, track the news available in different portals, different places, and generate my own news channel. Isn't that I can do that? I can have my own news channel and I don't need to, in fact, invest money. It's just that based on, borrowing, copying idea, content, and then making it new or look like new. That I can do. But remember that somebody who's generating news, you still need people in the ground.
Yeah.
Isn't that? If you don't have journalists, if you don't have people, AI cannot do that. At least at this stage, maybe in future you may have AI, calling up people and then taking interviews and then generating content. That may happen to some extent. But at this stage, those jobs will still be there. Isn't that? You can repackage content, but original content
is still important.
Is important. And then what is happening, that's also danger because now AI is copying and, there was a strike in Hollywood. All the script writer and the songwriter, they said that all our intellectual property, because all of them posted it in, initially what people used to do, they will post their intellectual output in web. Isn't that? And that's how AI learned all that ChatGPT and they use this free content to train models. So now they're replacing the script writer and the songwriter in Hollywood, and they're losing away. So what they used to do with a lot of effort, now AI has learned through their. So now what is happening that increasingly, now you will have content behind the firewall. Isn't that? Now people are very skeptic. They will not have anything which is unprotected, which is free, which is open. They will always, now you need to log in or it's behind the firewall. Now you will protect your content. Isn't that? That's happening because now otherwise this AI will take away your job. And that's to some extent. But at the end of the day, you need some people to generate original content.
So there is still room for and hope for original jobs. Everybody is now worried and are asking, how do you protect yourself? Because of all these negative elements that we talked about, one of the last questions was that, deepfake can even create people like you and me. It's everywhere, right? They post pictures as if, and they're the like generation, right? The more likes gives them a high, the less likes.
Boost.
Gives them depression. So, what should they do to protect themselves?
The environment is not so gloomy. Remember that this is like a virus and antivirus, and just seeing, with surprise element that what is evolving. So hopefully, maybe things will evolve some frame.
So you are an optimist.
No, I'm not completely pessimist. As I said, that one needs to be, careful about, especially students, because you will be participating in that market. Isn't that you're not like you're going to take up jobs where you will be involved in either side, the positive side, hopefully, but there is enough incentive to be on the other side also. But you will be participant in economy, the digital economy, AI-based economy, either in the form of, most probably you will be working on the other side, developing solutions, dealing with companies. Isn't it? As a consumer, of course, you will be using some of these technologies, but as an employee, as a part of workforce. So the idea is that digital literacy, or we say now AI literacy, is a skill which you can't avoid.
This has been a very insightful conversation. If I were to summarize, right, we started with bottom of pyramid market. We learned a lot about social entrepreneurship and use of AI in really social benefiting causes, which are fascinating. Very interesting examples and videos of how AI is being used on both sides, on the positive side, and how India, in fact, is leading the charge in some of these cases in driving the positive side of AI. And of course, there is always going to be antivirus and virus. So there is the other side. I'm hoping that in a couple of years, we will actually be on the other side, and everything that is in development will be stable, and we'll be actually just benefiting from how the revolution has evolved. But you guys have been a great audience. Thank you, everybody.